Hello everyone. So we will start at 7:30. So as we all know, right? So this Tuesday, so the NUSH just announced some important changes to this year's NMOS, the Nemos, right? So I feel many of the parents are asking, so what's this about? So what will be changed? And what we're going to do? And asking for advice and asking for explanations, right? So now today, maybe we use the time of 1 hour to explain. So what is changed to this year's Nemos and what does it mean for all of us? So yeah, or maybe skip this part. Okay. Then yeah, okay, just time. So we just keep going. So the first and the most important thing is that, so what has changed for this Nemos this year, right? Know what is Nemos, and this is the reason that why we are here. So we care about Nemos. We want our kid to participate in Nemos, but yeah, here the change happens. So what shall we do? So basically, right? So this is the originally description of the Nemos. So each year, so will be 500 participants access to the message if you go in the Nemos. So if P4 and P5 together, we have 5,000 participants. Not this year only limited to the P5, so maybe there will be 3,000 or 3,500 around this number. Yeah, to be the participant. So there will be fewer students participate in. And so what will it be to influence the price, right? So for originally among the 500 students, 5,000 students, 400 of them will enter the second round, the invitation round. And the invitation round, there will be top 20 and 80 gold medals, and then the 300 silver medals. Yeah, this is about the medals, the prize in the last few years. So we should notice that last year, 2023, so Nemos is the first year that Nemos allows some international school students to participate, and then they just maybe give out more gold medals than before. So last year maybe around 100, I believe it's 94 or 95. Yeah, 94, 95 gold medals or about. So it's slightly more than the past years. But this year, right? So the participants are maybe narrowed for half, a small half. So maybe we can expect the gold medal will reduce to a number. So if the ratio does not change, so maybe this year will only be 60 gold medals or even 50 gold medals. So compared to the SMOPs, right? So for SMOPs, each year there will be 45, around 45 platinum, right? 45. For RMO Junior for P5, right? RMO Junior group for P5, around 40 students will get the high distinction and enter the invitation round. So maybe, right? So this year, so the participant narrows. Yeah, maybe the number of gold will narrow to a number around the 60 or 50. This is a prediction. Also, right? So to be more specific, you will see that the past years, we all have round 1 and round 2. So round 1, the full score of round 1 is 60, and for round 2 is 90. So together, if we reach an 80 points, right? If you reach an 80 point or above, yeah, you are absolutely, you can reach a gold, and you may even reach top 30. And the lowest score line for the gold medals in past years is around 65 points. Yeah, 65 points. So the prediction for this year, so this year there will only be one round, right? One round. So maybe this one round, so we all expect it to be just directly the invitation round, the second round of the past years. So the gold line may be just 55% of the total score. So we don't know what the actual total score is. Maybe just a 90, yeah, as the past year's invitation round, right? Special round. Or maybe it's 100 or 115. So we don't know. But yeah, you should get at least 55 of the scores to reach a gold medal. Okay. So this is about Nemos award and scores. So as long as you reach a gold medal in Nemos, yeah, at least you can go to the NUSH DSA. By the way, yeah, here's something we should notice that this year, right, starting from this year, the DSA ratio for other schools. So NUSH is always the 100% of DSA, so we ignore it. But for RI, for Huachong, right? So the ratio of DSA students will be doubled. So in past years, maybe only 10% of DSA, but this year there will be nearly 20%. Yeah, nearly 20% of DSA students should enter the school instead of PSLE. Okay. So if you are now in currently P5, right? You're in current P5. So it's very important for you to take part in this Nemos. So yeah, as long as you are learning Mathematics Olympiad. Okay. So you know how important Nemos is. So past year, 2023, right? So you will see time, right? There is a preliminary round. The first round is in June, and the special round is August 1st. But this year, however, so the only one round is in the middle of July, which means actually we have 2 fewer weeks for us to prepare and practice, right? And the second difference is that, so the test will be held at respective primary school, yeah, instead of in the NUSH, yeah, instead of in NUSH. So this may be a signal, yeah, this may be a signal that, so because when, yeah, you see, when in the past year, they select 400 students to the special round, and then, so when the kids are doing the special round papers, parents will have a parent meeting, right? The introduction of NUSH and the advantage of going to NUSH, something like that, right? Advertisement, or maybe advertisement. But this year, so the only round is held in respective primary school, which means they may miss the chance, right? They may miss the chance of this parent advertisement. So maybe, yeah, we suggest after this one round, so for those gold or above gold, right? So they may invite you then to the NUSH again. And now maybe the 15 gold above, yeah, to the NUSH and have another event. So maybe this thing will happen. So now, yeah, about this paper, right? The prediction, so our prediction is just like the structure of the past year, the 2023, because we should know that all the year before 2022, the special round is always 10 4-point question and 10 5-point question. However, last year, the second round includes 5 3-point question, 5 4-point question, and 10 5-point question. So maybe this is the revolution set it up just for this year's changes. So maybe this year's paper will be made in this structure, or yeah, maybe more. So because for now, they don't tell us, so the length of the test, right? The contents of this test. So how many questions are there? So maybe they will, maybe to study from SMOPs to get in 2 hours for 30 questions. Yeah, it's also possible. It's also possible. So this is just the, this prediction is not that accurate, but believe me, so the formal prediction is that we should score 55 or more. This, right? This, I believe, is accurate. So believe this is a professional prediction. And then, so about the changes, so about this format, how do we understand these changes? We know what has changed, right? So mainly 3 parts. So first, we only invite P5 students to enter, which means, right, this golden, so it will be narrow. So the student participation is narrow, and the questions might be tougher because, right, so recent years, they actually, the first round is very easy. So as long as you learn the basic mathematical Olympiad, you are able to solve the first round to score maybe 30 over 60 or something like that, right? But yeah, if this year there's only 1 round and only for P5, we expect the question should be tougher, right? More difficult. So we know that in USH always, so they need, they need to set some easy question for P4 students because each year there will be 2,000 P4 students to participate. So they they need to, right? They cannot just make all the P4 students too frustrated. They cannot solve any of 1 questions. So each year they will be tolerant with the P4 student, but this year maybe no them mercy, right? Because all the positions are P5. You should have already learned all the mathematical Olympiad, right? Also, we should know that, so before in the past years, there will be maybe 80 gold medals, but among these 80 gold medals, however, so maybe only 10. So last year, fewer than 10. Fewer than 10 of them are from P4. So actually, P4 maybe takes 40% of participants, but only take 10% of the gold medals. But when this narrow to P5, so actually we can treat that actually in the past years, P5 students maybe they just take some gold medal from the P4 students. So this should be for the P4 students. But yeah, P5 students just take it with it, right? But this year only P5, so it can be expected that there will be fewer gold and there will be fiercer competitions. And since then, we should focus more on the difficulty questions. Yeah. So the Nemos question may be not like SMOPs or RIPMWC, so not that difficult. So difficulty is something around the level 1 to level 4. So no level 5 difficulties, but yeah, maybe we should focus more on the difficult ones. This is about our preparation. So we should realize that there will be tougher and tougher, fiercer and fiercer competitions among of us. But yeah, this is what we already know. That since Tuesday, I was thinking about, so why did NUSH make such a change? So what's the reason? So by comparing with the 2023, 2022, 2021, yeah, I draw some of the conclusions. So I don't write the conclusions on the slide because it's just the assumption, right? It's just prediction. Yeah. So I don't put it so to look at maybe I'm wrong. So I figured out 3 reasons for these changes. And maybe these 3 reasons are very important for us to prepare. So the first is that they want to narrow the participant just to specially select the student they need, right? So actually, NUSH students are based on their DSA, and the most important DSA route for this math DSA is the Nemos. So if it worked for the Nemos, the Nemos worked for the DSA, then actually only the P5 students matters. Because if for P4 student, even if a P4 student reach a gold or even a top 20, one of my P4 students reached a top 20 last year, right? But yeah, They cannot just go DSA the next year, right? So during this whole 1 year, there are many things will happen. So they may decide to go to RI or Huachong, right? Who knows? So maybe, yeah, the changes. The first is because they want to just narrow down to lock on the student that will take the DSA the next year. And then maybe they will make some contract, they will make some agreement, then we make some deals for those excellent enough. For example, the top 10 of this year's Nemos, the top 20 of this year's Nemos, right? So they will be married for them, I believe. So this is the reason. So they want to lock on the student they want for the P5. Yeah, for the next year's P6, for the next year's DSA student. That's the first reason. And second reason is that, so this year is not the first year of revolution. 2023 also have one round of revolution. So just right before the round 1 of 2023, so there is an announcement from NUSH that so the difficulty of round 1 of Nemos is down. It goes down. However, the difficulty of the special round goes up. And as it said, so the last year, the first round is too easy. So even my P3 student has scored 40 or more, right? So actually it's 40 over 60, even my P3 student. Which means, yeah, they just did what they said. But why? So and this year, they even just cancel the first round. So everyone take the invitation round, take the second round. So because, right, so for mathematics Olympiad learner, so there are two abilities which are both important. So one ability is that to solve the difficult questions. And the second is to get correct for easy question. Yeah, get correct for easy question. So print out what's the SAQ, short answer to question. Yeah, short answer to question. So you just write the answer. For Nemos, you just write the answer, and all the answers are integers from 0 to 9999. Yeah. Okay, now, so yeah, come back. So I believe so for the real excellent students, they can both solve the difficult question and they can get the easy and medium question correct. But, right, there must be some careless students, I believe. So I used to be one of them in my childhood, I have to say. So I can solve many of the difficult questions, but for very easy questions, I sometimes make mistakes. So actually, the previously Nemo's first round, they are all easy questions. So there are cases that are very good students, they're very good at solving difficult problems, just being so careless and even don't make it to second round. Or even if we made it to second round, because we know that the final grade is the sum of first round and second round. Because maybe he failed some of the easy questions and the final score is not that ideal, right? So now we see the first round, so it becomes so easy to just maybe send the score to your mouse. And this year even cancel the first round. So maybe it's because they want to focus, they want to be friendly to those who can solve the difficult problems. So they fancy more of the students who can solve the difficulties instead of those who just handle all the basic and medium questions correct. So, I mentioned before, so in past years, you only score 55% of all the papers, you can get a gold medal, which means it's possible for you to skip all the difficult questions. You just solve the easy and the medium questions, you get them all correct, you can get a gold. So maybe you fail on every difficult questions, but never mind, you are a gold. So now in this year, the adjustment is just, maybe they already sense it out. So this guy is not that excellent. This guy is not talented in math, but he just solved all the basic and medium questions to get a relatively good mark. So they made adjustment last year and this year. So maybe they have the tendency to choose, instead of those normal students, they prefer the talented student who can solve difficult questions. So that's why I said that we should focus more on difficult questions, right? Okay, now that's the second reason. And the third reason, I mentioned before, is that, so maybe because, before that, the second round, we have 400 people into NUSH, and the parent meeting, the parent advertisement is among all the 400 students. And we all know that they don't want all these 400 students, actually. They may only want the top 100 among them, right? So maybe this year, they just, let all the 3,000 students to have the paper at their own school. But meanwhile, they may invite all the gold or above to their schools, for a more specific event. So can get prepared, right? So can get prepared. So maybe, just maybe, so some of you can make appointment. So if at your P5 after your Nemos, you will get a certain ticket to enter NUSH. So regardless of your PSLE, regardless of your DSA, it's possible. I believe it's possible. But this is something that I cannot write on slide. So just the assumption. I speak you listen. Just like. So now this is the changes. This is the changes of this year's Nemos. And so how to understand it and why these changes happen. Okay, so far, I believe, so for at least for all the P5 students, for P5 parents, so there's nothing more to worry about. Just focus on the difficult questions and to train more to prepare well. And then, so how to prepare for Nemos? Actually, so sorry about that. So actually, we have done thorough research of all the past year papers for Nemos. And I believe, so last year, so I have given a webinar in Chinese and both in English. So to give you a very detailed analysis for the Nemos papers, past year papers, what is asking for. But this is not today's focus. Because today it's just the policies, not the test itself. So I will just give you a brief introduction of the Nemos question type. And let's see, so what can we get from it? So actually, so for Nemos questions, so I just give you a brief introduction. So the difficulty level is just the average difficulty level. So unlike SMOPS or RMO, so you see when you do the SMOPS or RMO, I believe P5 students also want to take part in the SMOPS and RMO, right? So there are, right? So the starting level, difficulty level may just start with level 3, and then level 4 and some level 5, or sometimes beyond the level 5 questions. So, but in Nemos, no. So Nemos questions, they are just the average. So all level 3 and level 4 difficulties. So the similar difficulty level is about the average level. But it have a very high requirement for algebra and calculation, especially for algebra. So you will see that the word problems, even the geometry problem, the Nemos encourage you to use the algebra way to solve it. The algebra may be the easiest way of solving some of the problems. Also, right, so in recent 3 years, there are always one question asking you to know how to solve the quadratic equation. The quadratic equation is the secondary school stuff, right? So, but you should know how to do this at least. And for the modules, the calculation, the geometry, the counting, the combinatoric, maybe, it's quite average. So for the 20 questions, maybe just 3 or 4 on each module. So of course, each year there will have 1 or 2 out of syllabus questions, as I mentioned, the quadratic equation, something like that, right? But actually, it's out of the syllabus does not mean it's that difficult. So each year in RMO, there are 2 difficult questions. The difficulty is not, right? So you don't need to learn the secondary school knowledge. It's only limited to the primary school mathematical Olympiad. But it's a very difficult one. You cannot think it off. Right? Even some teachers, they don't know how to do, So this is the RMO. But for Nemos, the out of syllabus question is just maybe you should learn in advance of some secondary school stuff. For example, quadratic equation. For example, factorization. For example, right, the minus numbers, something like that. So this is the difference between Nemos and RMO. But today, just a brief introduction of Nemos. So Now, yeah, I have mentioned several times the difficulty levels. So this is my baseline of defining the question difficulty. So I said the difficulties range from level 1 to level 5, right? So the level 1 is that, so as long as you know the formula, you can do this. Or you learn this, right? As long as you learned this before, you will know how to do this. And the level 2 is that, so as long as you learn well, you seriously take the class. Yeah, you learn the knowledge and you learn the method, you learn the model, you remember what you learned, you are able to solve it. Okay, yeah, the level 2. So level 3 will require you a certain method. So you should know the certain method to match the question, then you solve it. Or there may be a breakthrough point for you to think it out, right? And the level 4 question is a advanced version of level 3, or it may be the hybrid of multiple knowledge points. For example, combination and number theory, counting and number theory, and geometry and algebra, right? A word problem and extreme values and combinatory. Yeah, something, the hybrid of two knowledge to making them together. And level 5, I rarely see questions in Nemos reach level 5 is something insane, which means, right? So despite how good you learned, you cannot say that I have 100% I can do the question, I can solve the question immediately, I can do it quite well. So for me, maybe yes, but for students, no. So yeah, something insane. This insane means, so maybe the level 5, the real level 5 or something above level 5. So in RMO, we share maybe each year only 10 students among all the 3,000 have the ability to solve it or to do it correctly. Okay, yeah, this is the insane questions. So this is the definition of difficulties. You learn, level 1. You learn it well, level 2. You master the method, level 3. Right? You know how to use the method in an advanced way, level 4. You don't know how to do level 5. Okay. And you will see that, yeah, and this is the model analysis, the module analysis. So you will see that in geometry, so we just focus on the round 2 because we expect this year the only round is just based on the round 2 baseline. So the most important part is the number theory, geometry, and word problems, right? 2023, 2022, yeah, all the past 5 years, you will see that it shares the similar patterns, right? So the geometry and number theory, 2 most important parts. And then together with the word problem, combinatory calculations, right? And so, yeah, you will see that Nemos have few questions about countings and few questions about, yeah, maybe, yeah, if we put speed time distance journey problem with the word problem will be quite a large part. But yeah, for Nemos, so why I take speed time distance, the journey problem out? Because Nemos are they like the journey problem very much, actually. So each year there will be maybe 3, yeah, including round 1 and round 2, there will be 3 or 4 questions about distance problem, the ratios, the water flow, the train problem, something like that, right? So compared with RMO SMART, each year there's only one question. So Nemos likes the distance water problem. Why? Because the distance problem is something that students are forced, or maybe not forced, right? Tend to use the algebra. I have to say. So Nemos asks so many questions about algebra. And so for distance word problem, yeah, it's something that is the hybrid of word problem and algebra. Yeah, so they like it. Never mind. And so now, as I mentioned before, so this year, so according to the tendency, maybe we focus more on the level 3 and the level 4 questions. So when we look at the difficult, the middle, high, and the difficult questions, we will see that, so those take the most part. So for level 3, also the geometry and number theory. But for level 4, right, it's the geometry and combinatory. Why is that? Because combinatory itself is very difficult. So combinatory is the most difficult module in all the primary school mathematics Olympiad. Yeah, so that's geometry is of a very very important, both in the middle high or in the difficult part. And for calculations, we just see, right? So you will see that the calculation is about fraction calculation, define new operations, and you will see that. So it's very, so it implies kids to master the algebra calculation very well. And then they can solve this problem, or maybe they cannot even understand what the question is meaning, right? So though it's just basic define new operations, but yeah, the algebra is included so many, actually. So just look at questions. So we are not talking about how to solve it. When solving the question, then algebra takes then more and more important. So and geometry is some proportion models, Pythagorean theorem, chord diagrams. So this is not the chord diagram. I prefer to call it the hypotenuse diagram. So it's just the transformation of areas, or use the, actually, in secondary school, we call it the congruent triangles, right? We use the congruent triangles, or in primary school, we call it the symmetry, right? To transform it into something we like. So it's not just about the ratios of areas or half models, something like that. Yeah, it applies some skills, and the skills is often used in the secondary school geometry. Okay, a word problem. I mentioned before, algebra analysis abilities and ratio problems, right? So for this type of questions, yeah, it's always algebra. So they may choose some question that algebra is the fastest and the best way to solve it. Yeah, something like this journey problem. Yeah. And then divisibility. Yeah, the number theory is the divisibility and factor analysis, which is the most important. So in Nemos, there are a few questions about remainders. So unlike SMOS or RMOs, there's many different questions about remainders. But in Nemos, no. Yeah, Nemos, they focus on the divisibility, factor analysis, the prime factors, or something like that. So, and the countings, yeah, countings. Few questions about counting. So counting is based on something on logic. So you have a logical thought, and you know how to classify the questions by details, and then you solve it one by one. Yeah, this is where it is. The combinatoric, yeah, actually Nemos have few questions about combinatorics, I believe. But so in recent years, the deep question always comes from pigeonhole theorem and extremum, and the extremum values. Yeah, I don't call them extremum values here, right? But the pigeonhole principle is very important. Okay, and then yeah, we know what the modules, the difficulty of the Nemos, which is just a brief introduction. So now come back to today's topic. Today is about how to do, right? This is a how to do topic. So we know the changes and we know the test. So how to do? If you want to get a good grade for a test, so actually we would have three things that is important. One is the knowledge. Second, method. Third, experience. The knowledge is what we learned in the class, in the long-term class. We should have a systematic way of learning to get all the knowledge known. And the second is the method of solving problems. And this is something that we trained, so both in the long-term course or the specialized short-term course to prepare for a certain, right? Prepare for a certain competition or a certain event, right? So actually, different questions have different methods of solving it. And how to find this method, how to think of this method, how to analyze these questions. Yeah, this is the bit we want to develop a student. That is the second method. And the third, it's experience. So what's the experience? So if you want to reach the really top, maybe the top 10, yeah, you want to make yourself top 10 of Singapore, top 10 of Nemos, then you should be very experienced in the competition you are taking. Yeah, for example, in Nemos. So what's the normal question type? What's the normal difficulty? Yeah, which is the preferred of the committee, right? You should know. So actually we teachers can help you predict the questions. You will see, right? So I will show you afterward is that, so last year we have several rounds of mock test, and we have two books, of book A and book B, and we will see. So for the round 2, 20 questions, we give students 14 questions are similar parallel question or even the same questions in our book, in our test. So this is experience. So you should know what you are facing. You should know what you are facing. Okay, so how to develop this three? So for knowledge, it's depending on the systematic learning. The method is the specialized training, and experience. Yeah, experience is concluded by the teachers, by yourself. Yeah, to know more. And then, so if we want to do the new well in the new Nemos, by mean the new Nemos, I mean so this year's Nemos are the only one round and maybe only P5, and then so more difficult questions, right? So I believe so there's something we can do. So first is that we should understand everything we have learned. So so define understand is that if you know something, if the teacher teach you, you know. If you understand something, you can teach others. So I always ask students to tell their parents, teach their parents about what they learned in my class. This is very important. So this is a way to define whether you understand it or not. You should understand the knowledge instead of just knowing. And then, so we see the Nemos question have a certain patterns, right? So the structure, the modules, right, the difficulties, they keep the same. And which means we can follow the pattern. So we should leave no doubt for past year questions. Yeah. So when we do the past year questions, if you have a question, you ask, you solve it, you understand every question is very necessary. And the third part is we should enhance the questions in difficulty level 3 and level 4, which means the middle, high, and the difficult questions, slight difficult questions. Because this year, according to the policy change, we expect there will be more difficult questions in the certain round of Nemos. And the fourth way is that algebra is encouraged, right? And the level of ability required is very high. Yeah, so algebra practice. And then 5 is widen your knowledge pool because, right? So this year, they may have some changes, they may have some revolutions. They may add in something new that never into this paper. Or maybe they will borrow some question from the IMSO, the RMO. So Nemo students are, so the top 12 of Nemo students are chosen to take part in the IMSO anyway, representing Singapore, right? So if they just borrow some question from IMSO, the difficult ones, I won't be so surprised. Yeah. So widen your knowledge pool if you have the ability, right? If you have finished all the knowledge learning of the basic Nemos one, so maybe you can start doing research for IMSO, for RMO, for SMOS. Yeah, may help you in the Nemos backward. But this thing, and these are something that maybe in the principle, right? That is in principle. And then, so to be in the real world, right? So in practice, so what can we do? For now, starting from now, to prepare and then I will show you the to-dos for the next 1 month. Yeah, this is suggestion. So I suggest we do these things in the coming 1 month. So first is that we should practice doing all the 3 to 5 point questions from the recent 5-year real papers. 3 point questions is in round 1, and 4 point and 5 point questions is in round 2. So for round 1, we only do the 3 point question. There's no need to do the 2 point questions. Unless you feel difficult even for the 3 point questions, then you may should go back to the point 1 and point 2 questions and to enhance your basis and then come back. Okay, so I expect, right? So if you are a P5 student, you have learned mathematical Olympiad for quite some time, and you won't feel most of the 3 point question difficult. You may feel some of the 4 point and 5 point question difficult, but you are able to solve more than half of 4 point and 5 point question. And then this is the normal level of student. Okay, now this is the first thing. So finish all the real past year papers in 5 years. Second thing we should do in the next 1 month, after we finish all the real questions, we note all the questions we do wrongly, right? We note wrongly. We should understand why we do it wrong. And then we should do the practice with 5 parallel questions, similar questions with the same difficulty and same knowledge point, the same module, right? For each wrong questions. This is very important. If you get something wrong, which means this is your weak point. For Nemos, you cannot have so many weak points. So you should prepare with the parallel problem. But how do you find parallel problems? From real paper? So many real papers. And maybe I don't know which questions are parallel, which questions are similar. Never mind. Think Academy have already prepared it for you. Yeah. Where? Yeah, I will tell you. So when we finish the real question run through, so you must find something that you haven't learned before, something you are not know, something you know but you forgot, right? And then it's very important for us to relearn all these stuff. So how to relearn the knowledge? Learning the knowledge, yeah, we should understand the knowledge. How to understand it? By teaching your parents. So instead of just learning, we learn, we understand, then we teach. So for parents here, try to ask your kid to have an MO class 1 week to you. You being a student, your kid being the teacher. It's very important and it will be very, very useful for them. Okay, then finally, practice algebra and fraction calculations every day. I mean, every day. So I believe the calculation practice should be becoming a habit. So I always encourage my students to buy a 20-sided dice. So you can buy it, right? So you can buy the 20-sided dice and you roll it at each morning and each evening. And then you do if you roll a 10 or roll 11, then you do 10 or 11 calculation questions. One time in the morning, one time in the evening. So the average, right? So based on the probability, the average questions kids will do in 1 day will be 21, which should be enough. Yeah. And this is a game. Yeah, this is a game. And it's a very interesting game. Yeah, and they follow this game, follow this rule, and they will be more willing to do the calculations. Yeah, maybe if your kid have a lot of problem in calculation, you can try my advice. Okay. So yeah, I mentioned, so this is a to-do list for the next 1 month. Then what's after? So Nemos is held on July, right? We have 4 months. So how to arrange these 4 months? How to prepare this year's Nemos? Okay, right? Just right after the the announcement is given, yeah, we just updated our preparation project. And here, let me share with you the Think Academy Nemos preparation project this year. So now, first is that in April, right? In April, maybe we started time at the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the first week of April. We prepare a book for you. This book is called the 2024 Nemos Secret of Gold. So what's this book look like? So actually, yeah, I believe you take this book. So this is the book we prepared for last year. So we still have some of these books in our centers. So if you are our long-term course students, you already have this book, I believe. So if you take part in our Tasmo competition, you may have picked up these books. But yeah, if you don't have this book we printed last year, you feel free to drop out our center anytime at Novena or Jurong East, right? You can drop out the center anytime to then pick the book A and book B of this Nemos. So this book we prepared for last year. So we include 100 questions, each question referring to one typical question type in the Nemos first round and second round. So as a result, you will see that the result is that the 2023 Nemos special round, so we have 14 similar, parallel, or even exactly the same questions comparing with the real ones. So now this is the question book. This is question book. So if you can, you can handle all the 100 questions in this book, I believe, you will have no trouble in the Nemos. But after this book is published, so in this 1 year, there are so many parents asking for. So we currently are P4. We are just starting the MO learning. And this book, they're too difficult, and there is no, though we have video run through and solutions for this book actually, but maybe not enough because these books are for practice, but maybe not enough for learning or by self-learning. So this year, we will publish another book, this Secret of Gold for Nemos. The book will look at this. So we we point out the top 30 knowledge points to be tested in the past year's Nemos. The 30 most important knowledge points in Nemos. And I can show you an example. For example, the HAP model. And this book, first, we will show you the basic knowledge here. So the basic knowledge, you should know the formula, the principle, the theorem. Yeah. And we have a basic question, the warm-up questions, which is maybe something like the Explorer in our textbook, right? So the warm-up questions. And then we will show you the past year paper questions. Yeah, also, actually, we will fill the past year paper solutions with the past year real questions. We will have solutions for past year questions. And then, yeah, solutions here. And then we will give you the practice more part. So we will give you the parallel questions, similar questions of the basic knowledge point. And each question we will have 3 to 5 questions. And we will see the difficulty is from the easiest, right? This is the basic and easy one. And then to the more difficult one and to the most difficult one. So the difficulty will rise. So now this book containing, so we have 30 knowledge points and the knowledge run through, solution for real questions, warm-up point, and 5 more practice, 3 to 5 more practice. So this is actually what we call the secret of gold. So this book can help you, to lead you actually, so if you just take it serious enough, to reach a NMOS Gold for P5 or P4 student. Okay, so yeah, this book will release the first week of April. So please, please just keep trace on our WhatsApp group. Yeah, keep trace on WhatsApp group. So we will announce the booklet registration in our WhatsApp group. So don't miss it. Okay, and then starting from the second week of April, the April 13th to the 18th, May 18th, we will have a past year paper run through project for Nemos. And this past year paper, we will select all the 3-point to 5-point questions, and it will be an online big class. So in class, so before the class, you do the questions year by year. And in class, our teacher will run through the questions, the difficult questions, the important questions for you. So just to practice. So actually, we encourage all our current competition students, yeah, to take part in this, to do a practice. So this is about past year paper run through, yeah, in the April and May in the spring. And then the first day of our summer vacation, right? So we will have an offline mock test for Nemos. And so some of parents may already know that we will have a new teaching center, and this teaching center will include 150 seats for students. So then we will have a offline mock test, and will include maybe 300 or more, right? So we expect 300 students to join this offline mock test. And we will give you the placement, the level, and we'll give you and the report. So what's the report I will show you. And then in June holiday, yeah, when we go to June holiday, we have the Nemos holiday camp to help you thoroughly practice for this upcoming Nemos and to prepare for the July test. Okay. So I have to mention that I have shown you already before. So the books we made have covered nearly all the questions that are in the Nemos special round. And so it's very important to choose a good preparation material, I have to say. So it's a half to the success. Because, right, so every student knows to do the real past year real paper. But yeah, real paper, but only few of them can conclude something, right? Can draw the conclusion from the past year papers, and they can use the past year paper to predict this year's paper. So past year paper is for practice, this year paper is what matters. So I believe, so we don't just run through past year papers. But yeah, we used the past year, we used our book to master this year's paper. This is our ideal. And yeah, at least for last year, we did it quite well. So, you know, so the 2022, right? So in 2022, with the first year we arrived at Singapore, we only have 2 Nemos Gold. Yeah, 2 Nemos Gold, only 2. But, right, in 2023, however, 2023, so we have 21 Nemos Gold and 4 top 20s. Yeah, just because, right, we do thorough research of this competition, and we know what will happen in the real paper, and so our students get a quite a good grade. So for me, myself, right, so all of my students, the rate is 87%. So 87% reach gold or above. I'm proud of them. I'm very proud of them. So even one of my P3 students reached a Nemos Gold. One of my P4 students reached Nemos top 20. So I believe, yeah, this is their effort. But so how to make effort? So choose a good material is very important. Okay. And then, yeah, this is last year's mock test. So you see the last year, so we just still at the novena. So we only have 3 classrooms for maybe 50 seats, right? 50 seats. But today, this summer is different. So we have a new center with 150 seats. So we can invite more students here. And so the more students here, so you will get the placement, and the placement will be closer to the real Nemos ones. So for Nemos, remember, so there is 5,000 students. Maybe this year, maybe 3,000 students. Maybe we will reach the 15 gold. And you based on this ratio, so maybe you should reach the top 20 in our mock test, or top 30 in our mock test to reach the Nemos Gold, right? Okay. And after the mock test, we will give you an assessment report. So this report is, you will be in very detailed scene. So sorry, but I just screenshot it in the Chinese version, but there will be English version, so never mind. So I will show you the score, the average score, and so the rank of you, right? Your rank. And so the question types here and specified in every knowledge point. So did you get it correct or wrong? And then compare with the average score. So this is the average score. And so how well do you do? What's your weakest point? And what can be improved? So we will calculate your abilities based on the calculation, problem solving, out-of-box thinking, analytical thinking, right? You analyze your abilities. Yeah, analyze your abilities. So this report will help you to, so the mock test will be held in the late May, right? So since then you will have 1 summer holiday. We have maybe 1.5 months to prepare for the real Nemos one. And then, so this year, despite this report, actually, we will give you a 1-to-1 project. Yeah, the suggestion project for Nemos preparations, including maybe more questions based on your weak point, or maybe the course suggestions. So maybe you can take some our holiday camp. So our holiday camp may be the base. So the gold medal sprint course or the top 20 sprint course. Yeah, those are the different. Okay. And then, so for now, maybe this is something that for P5 students we are participating in. But actually, the privacy changes actually for P5 students, maybe just good. So maybe, yeah, just so. So actually, it's the P4 student, the parents feel most frustrating, right? Because P4 this year, P4 student cannot take part in Nemos. And then here comes a very realistic question. So what shall a P4 parent do? So many of my students are currently P4 GEP students and very good at math. And many of the parents is wondering, so I don't know what to do. Yeah, I just don't know what to do. So actually, don't be worried. So though you cannot take part in Nemo this year, we have prepared a project for you. Yeah, for a P4 student who are interested and have the ability to learn mathematics Olympiad competitions. So actually, so I believe, so in the spring, so we have the P5 e-train project. And for the P5 project, actually, so I invited 6 of the very excellent students to my class. And so for P5 students this year, the aim is for them to reach the Nemos top, this year's Nemos top 20. But for the upcoming P4, I believe I have a longer time for them to develop them for the whole 1 year to make them the next year's Nemos top 20 or even Nemos top 1. So this project, there will be a placement test for all the P4 students. Yeah, you cannot take the Nemos, right? But we Think Academy will have a placement test for you, and this one may be actually so maybe more difficult than Nemos, or maybe just the different route of the Nemos. And in this placement test in May, right? So the top 4 will be able to reach our P4 elite program. And this program is based on next year's Nemos top 20. And for the top 20 to top 30, right? So we invite you to our P4 competition program. The goal is for NMOS Gold. And for others, we can join. You may, for the others, so maybe you fail to reach the top 30, but you're good enough. You can join our P4 MHA program. The goal is for SASMO Gold, right? So the details for this P4 placement test, the P4 elite project, will be announced next week. It's meaning about, and it's just meaning about Nemos. But here is a broadcast. So for P4 parents, don't be so worried. We will prepare our project for you. Okay, now this is something just after the Tuesday's announcement, right? So we know what's the change of this year's Nemos and how to prepare starting from now, right? How to prepare with this year's Nemos. Okay, maybe that's all. So we'll see. My body is not that quite well, and I just finished 3 tests. There's 3 classes today, so since from morning, afternoon, and evening, right? So and then this seminar. So maybe the contents is here, but I will stop here. So now the P4, right? For P4 students, so the P4 project will be released next week. So now I give some time for the question and answer. So do you have any questions about Nemos, about the P4 project, or about everything else about the mathematical learning? Every question will be okay. If you have any questions. If not, then the stream will end at 8:30. So don't remember to join our WhatsApp group. Don't forget to join our WhatsApp group. And so the further information will all be released in WhatsApp group. Okay. So if any questions, I'm in the group. So this group now is just basically for RMO, right? The reason it will be RMOs. So if you join the group, you'll see many questions, parents just asking RMO questions. So if you have questions you cannot solve, you don't know how to solve, you can just put it in the group and we will help you solve it. Our teacher will be online and help you solve the questions. Okay. Sorry. Sorry about that. I cannot speak. So it's Xingyi's mother here. So I believe one of my P4 students just finish my morning class and have a comes out in the morning in noon and take my evening class and now the seminar. Okay. So see if there is any question you can So if there is any question you can send to my Gmail. So what is the difficult level comparing SASMO and Nemos? So SASMO, right? So back here. So we define the difficulty level of questions, right? So the level 1 to level 5. So actually, the SASMO questions is basically the level 1 to level 3. Level 1 to level 3 question is for the SASMO. And it's the same for the Nemos first round. So Sasmo is something like the Nemos first round. They are of the similar difficulty. But Nemos second round is far beyond the Sasmo, right? So it's far beyond Sasmo. So I think you should take part in Sasmo. So if he can reach the perfect in Sasmo, or at least a high score gold in Sasmo, yeah, the top, maybe top 10 in Sasmo in P4, P5, right? And then, so means that they may have, they have the ability to challenge for the Nemos Gold. Yeah, so Sasmo Gold is just the basics. What is SAQ? I believe I answered the question before. The SAQ is for short answered question. So do I need to type it here? Or may I write it here? No. The handwriting is terrible because I can only use mouse. So short answered question. Oh no. Forgive me. I cannot use mouse to write on the screen. Short answer question. So Sasmo will be held in March in April, right? So it's before the Nemos. So I believe you can just ask you to take part in P4 and P4 Sasmo. So if you can reach gold or perfect, and then you may have the potential to challenge for Nemos Gold. So I believe the Sasmo Gold or Sasmo Platinum, the Sasmo Platinum, the perfect, right? The Sasmo Gold the Sasmo Gold medals may just share the similar level with the Nemos Silver, right? Maybe, not that accurate because they're two different competitions. Okay, yeah, be all for the day. And if you have some questions, you can join our WhatsApp group and ask any questions in the group, and our teacher will answer it for you. Okay. Then, yeah, the book will be released on the first week of April. Beware of the information. Okay, thank you for the day. Yeah, I will answer your questions in the WhatsApp. Okay.